Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's late. It is coming out late, but I gotta do it. This is the Raw review. I tried to do it, but my internet went down in the middle of all this crap that's going on inside. It won't stop raining here, it seems. So, we're going to be talking about Raw tonight. And the first thing before we do talk about Raw is Wrestlemania. No, not Wrestlemania 30. WrestleMania 31. Okay. WrestleMania 31, they've already named the location for it, and it's going to be in San Francisco. The big participant, or the big runner-up for WrestleMania 31 was actually Philly. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, sorry. And the reason it didn't win it is because that's where Super Bowl 50 is going to be held. And WWE said that they don't want to be in the same venue as the Super Bowl around the same time, because around Super Bowl 50 was maybe a year or before, or maybe even after Super Bowl 50. So they just don't want that, which I can understand, to be honest with you. Super Bowl 50 is not going to be until 2016. But WrestleMania 31 is going to be before Super Bowl 50 is what that will mean. So, another thing, Christian has announced on not on Twitter, but on WWE.com that he's been gone for a while due to concussions, and that his wife had a kid. Congratulations, it's a girl. Second thing is, Alberto Del Rio off of the sunset flip of his match against Sin Cara on Raw here. He suffered a concussion, and they're going to be doing an impact test to see if he can, how long it'll take for him to go. But let's get on with the Raw Slammies. For your first match, we had Daniel Bryan versus Fandango, and after the match, after Daniel Bryan got the win, that is, Bray Wyatt sent yet another message to Bryan, or Bray Wyatt sent another message to Bryan saying that he will be a monster, that he will turn him into a monster. All he's got to do is join the Wyatts, and they'll tear the walls down. We had our first Slammy category, and was the LOL Moment of the Year. Now, what they did was they did a match, and then they did a Slammy nominee, and then they had a participant for the next match come out, and then they would reveal the winner, and then they would have a match. So, the LOL Moment of the Year, that was presented by the New Age Outlaws. Oh, you didn't know? And I wrote down everything for you guys, all the like where everything was, what it was, like Vicky Guerrero getting fired and her climbing on the table, and Triple H was like, the hell? I'm getting out of here. Titus's Thanksgiving barf where he barfed all over everyone. Santino's Cobra getting snake charmed. And the Rock concert directed to Vicky at the 20th anniversary of Raw. And the Rock concert won this. Hands down, the Rock concert won this. I was laughing my butt off on that part. Whenever he was like, no, biatch, you look horrible tonight. It was awesome. We then had Santino going up against Damien Sandow. And this is just to build momentum for the TLC pay-per-view. Speaking of the TLC pay-per-view, real quick, TLC Prediction Night, Thursday night. All matches. There may be a spoiler in those handicap matches that I think will happen. It's a spoiler. It's not a spoiler of who's really going to win, but it's a spoiler of who I think will win. So it'll be later on tonight. They had Santino versus Sandow with Biggie Lynch on commentary. Sandow won this to build momentum for his match at TLC for the Intercontinental Championship. after The Rock won the LOL Moment of the Year, Vicky comes out and says, "This slammy represents my beauty," and then they had the match. But The Rock was actually getting mad that Vicky stole his slammy and tweeted about it, so. We had then the double cross of the year, and the double cross presenter was none other than the Shield. And these guys actually looked pretty good. They were in their tuxes. Roman Reigns has hair up in a ponytail, and they said that when you're with the Shield, you'll never be double crossed. And of course, Ambrose was being the center of it all. He says, "Man, do I look good tonight." But it was the presenters were the Shield. The fact that because apparently they won a lot of stuff before the show, so like Faction of the Year and all that. The double crosses, the nominees were Mark Henry's retirement speech, HBK at Hell in a Cell when he super kicked Daniel Bryan, Heyman at Money in the Bank when he turned his back on CM Punk. I'm a CM Punk guy. And then Triple H at SummerSlam when before he was praising Daniel Bryan, he was saying, "Oh yeah, Daniel Bryan is going to beat John Cena," and he's asking Vince what is it that you don't see in Daniel Bryan and all this. And the fact that you could kind of tell how SummerSlam was going to end, because the thing back then was the Confederate was falling, and they just sat there and sat there and sat there and sat there, and the referee did not. Triple H did nothing. And then Orton comes out, and then as soon as Orton comes out, it gets pedigreed, and that's where the double cross was. But the winner of it was none other than HB Shizzle. Oh, I'm sorry, HBK. HB Shizzle comes up later on the night, because HBK was doing the Summit for Superstar of the Year, and he called it the HB Shizzle Award. So we then had The Miz or Kofi Kingston versus The Miz. The Miz won this, but here's what happened. Miz tried to walk out of the match and get just a count out. Miz got sent back in, and Kofi Kingston rolls him up, but then Miz kicks out and then rolls him up and holds the tights and gets the 1, 2, 3. After the match, he got Trouble in Paradise to the face. That Trouble in Paradise wasn't as good as the Trouble in Paradise as I do on this game right here. So, especially the mid-air ones. We then had our Diva of the Year slamming, and the presenter of that was none other than Eve Marie Torres, or E. Torres. Your nominees were actually the Bella Twins, the Funkadactyls, Caitlyn, Natalia, Eva Marie, and AJ. Now, I voted for AJ, but the Bella Twins won, and when they were about to present it, everyone was like, or everyone in the audience was like, "It's AJ, it's AJ," because I'm sure that they all voted for AJ. But when they announced that it was the Bella Twins, the whole arena booed. You could say the Bella Twins got booed out of the building. That's how bad they got booed. In Seattle, Washington, in the home of Daniel Bryan. Now you would think that Nikki would be booed, but not as much of both of them. So, since Brie is actually marrying Daniel Bryan. Our next match was an 8-man tag team match with Rey Mysterio, The Big Show, and your World Tag Team Champions, the Rhodes Dynasty. And they were going up against the group called Rybaxel, which does have Ryback and Axel in it, but they're called Rybaxel. One thing that JBL said was, "What a stupid name for a team. It makes no sense," and I agree with him completely. Sorry, my nose itches. But it was Rybaxel and the Real Americans. The winners of this was Mysterio, Show, and the Rhodes Dynasty. And this match was okay. I mean, it wasn't the best match of the night. We then had our Superstar of the Year. And the Superstar of the Year presenter was, like I said, HBK. the superstars who were nominated for it was actually Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Big Show, Bryan, Orton, and this guy. If this guy was never nominated for it, I would have actually been surprised, and John Cena. But the winner of it was actually Daniel Bryan. And before the match with before this next match, Daniel Bryan said, first off, I want to thank HBK for getting me into the WWE. And then I want to thank him again, because if it wasn't for him, I would still be WWE champion. And he's talking about from the double cross segment. So then we had Sin Cara, which was really Hunico, taking on Alberto Del Rio. Now this match is where Alberto Del Rio suffered a concussion. At one point, they both go up to the top turnbuckle, and Sin Cara does a sunset flip to him off the turnbuckle to get him to where he could do the swanton. Well, when Del Rio hits that mat, his head bounces back up, and that's what caused the concussion to Alberto Del Rio. And it was like the end of it. So we then how I can tell that this is Hunico is if you go back and go play WWE 2K, or not 2K14, WWE 13, okay? Hunico was in that game. And if you do Hunico's finisher and signature, he actually did it in this match, where it's like a weird like a weird Samoan drop and a weird attitude adjustment. He takes him on his shoulders and he kind of spins around and like lays down kind of, and then he'll go up onto the top rope and then do a swanton. So I don't know. We then had your fan participation slamming, which fan participation is like when we were fandangoing, when we yes and all that. Those two were nominees. And the presenters of this were actually the primetime players, which they should have been nominated with their millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars. But it was fandangoing, the yes chant, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. I like that one. I think that one should have won. And What's Up by R-Truth. But the winner of this was actually Yes. Fandangoing could have won this if Fandango was still big as back as he was at WrestleMania. It's like after WrestleMania, they just died down with the Fandangoing because everyone was doing it. It was like the new Harlem Shake. Everyone was going da 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 da. But I guess what WWE decided to do was basically kill off Fandangoing and have Daniel Bryan do his yes, yes. And since Daniel Bryan is a bigger superstar than Fandango, they wanted only one guy to have one fingers raising up in the air. And I guess they decided Daniel Bryan because no one's Fandangoing anymore. If they come back to Atlanta, Georgia, and if they come, and when I do go see my very first ever live event, because I've never been to a live event before. If you guys want to send me tickets to one, pay for my flight, and wherever it's at, I'll go to it. But when I go to my first live event, if Fandango is wrestling, I will probably be Fandangoing in that audience, because I've never been to a live event before. I don't know what to expect. Yeah, I will wear probably my CM Punk t-shirt, and then under that, probably wear this one, and then like if Mark Henry comes out, I'll be like, yeah, I'll take off that shirt, and then if CM Punk comes out, oh crap, put that one back on or something, I don't know. But yes, actually, the yes chance won this, no surprise. We then had Brodus Clay versus Xavier Woods. This was a squash match. All Brodus Clay did was knock Xavier Woods down, go to the second rope, and do a body splash, and get the 1, 2, 3. That was fast. The bell rings, and knocks Xavier Woods down, climbs ropes, and boom. It was like a 3-second match. After the match, Brodus Clay kept body splashing, elbow dropping Xavier Woods. Tensai pulls him up, and he's like, "What the hell's the matter with you?" I told you guys last week that they're going to do a tons of funk heel turn. So that's where this is going. I'm sure that Brodus is just going to talk to Tensai about turning heel and all this. We then had your insult of the year slamming, and the presenter of that was The Miz. Your nominees were AJ for when she was basically dissing the Divas, the Total Divas. All subcultures preaching, when they sneak across our borders, Paul Heyman calling Punk a loser and calling himself the best in the world, like after Night of Champions. Calling someone a loser, that's an insult. You're a loser, so sorry, I just insulted you. It's not an insult. Yeah, well, you're a loser. And Stephanie firing Big Show and slapping him in the face. And Stephanie McMahon won this. Because none of those other insults were really that good except for AJ's pipe bomb. AJ's pipe bomb should have won this. That's one I actually voted for. But Stephanie McMahon won it. And we went to our next match, which was, to me, the best match of the night. The crowd of Seattle even got into this. It was CM Punk versus Dean Ambrose, okay? And Roman Reigns decided, well, Roman Reigns, after the match, spears Punk. Punk already got the victory. But during the match, there was some dissension between the Shield. Now, since I'm talking about Punk, and I've already talked about Bryan, this would be a good time to mention it. That's what I was telling you guys about. On Prediction Night, I was going to say that it was going to be Punk winning his 3-on-1 match against the Shield. And then we're going to have Daniel Bryan lose to the Wyatt family. Join the Wyatts? I don't know. I haven't read anything that says that he is or he isn't, so I have no idea. But I also said that the Shield is supposed to be splitting apart. If they have Punk win this, it would be a good place for it. Because they need to, they do need to split them up. The whole reason why they're splitting up the Shield is because they want a new 3-man group. And then, no, it's not going to be 3MB. It's going to be the Wyatts. The Wyatts need to show their dominance. And who better to give it more pop than Daniel Bryan? But if you beat Daniel Bryan, you're a good player. But they're trying to find a new 3-man group, and they found the Wyatts, and they know that the Wyatts are going to do a good job. It's kind of like they're probably going to have, when Luke Harper leaves the Wyatt family, when he's wrestling it, and if he turns face, they're probably going to have everyone in the crowd and be like, yeah, like how he does. And that's probably going to be one of the big fan participation for Slammy or something back in, like, going to be like probably in 2020 or something. I don't know. I'm just speaking out my ass on that part, but I don't know. But like I said, Punk wins. The Shield splits up, goes all their separate ways. Roman Reigns does fantastic in the Royal Rumble. Dean Ambrose becomes probably will win the Royal Rumble, if not CM Punk, because that would be a great place for Dean Ambrose to win the Royal Rumble, because you know that he's going to be probably the new face of the company after Cena's done. Everyone wants it. We need Ambrose as the face of the company. But Roman Reigns to me would be good too. And Seth Rollins, he's not my favorite guy of the Shield, but my favorite guy of the Shield, I said also last week, was Roman Reigns. But yes, there was a lot of dissension in this match between the Shield. The Shield actually started walking out at the end of this match. And when Punk won, they came back and beat up on Punk. So then they had their extreme moment of the year, and who more extreme than the man who was thrown off the top of a Hell in a Cell by the Undertaker himself back at King of the Ring of 97? that's when it was. Mick Foley. And the nominees for the Extreme Moment of the Year were The Shield when they attacked The Undertaker and basically wrote The Undertaker off TV until Lord knows when, probably WrestleMania time. And then he's going to lose at WrestleMania 30. To whoever he wrestles, he loses at WrestleMania 30. But it's back when the Shield attacked The Undertaker and wrote him off TV and powerbombed him through the announce table. Ryback at Extreme Rules when I guess you could say he speared Cena through the Extreme Rules set. If of all these, I think either that one should have won or the last one should have won. And the next one was CM Punk climbing the top of the cell to exact his revenge on Paul Heyman at Hell in a Cell. And the Wyatts at SummerSlam in the Ring of Fire match, which was just an Inferno match. But like I said, I think either Ryback or the Wyatts should have won it. No, none of them won it. The man who won it was CM Punk. Okay? And what's funny is, the Wyatts were already out for the next match. And if they would have won it, or if Bryan would have won it somewhere, you know Bray Wyatt would have walked up there and been like, Daniel, join the Wyatts. Follow the Buzzards. Or he probably would have attacked him or something. But CM Punk won this by climbing the cell and beating the living crap out of Paul Heyman and basically riding Paul Heyman off of TV right now, because we haven't seen Paul Heyman since Hell in a Cell-ish, when he was all in his wheelchair and all that. And then he got rid of the big ugly doofus that I think that's what he called Ryback, and Curtis Axel, saying that they're all both losers. So we then had the Usos versus the Wyatts. The Wyatts won this with that clothesline, and when Luke Harper does this clothesline to one of the Usos, JBL praises this clothesline. He's like, "No, that's a freaking clothesline. I love that." It's like he's passing down the Hell in a Cell, or not the Hell in a Cell, the clothesline from Hell. But it's a discus clothesline. It basically spins around and just clotheslines the hell out of you. It's almost like Natalia's, but this one is more powerful because the Uso he hit went like inside out, upside down, and landed on his stomach. That's pretty impressive for a clothesline. And like JBL said, that was a freaking clothesline. That was a nice clothesline. We then had, which was the last slammy of the night, your match of the year, presented by Bret Hart. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where's all the other slammies? Those were all presented before the show on WWE.com. You can still go there and look at who won what, which Shield won a good bit of it, and Daniel Bryan won a good bit of it. But the match of the year was presented by Bret Hart, and here were your match choices. I don't agree with the winner of this, but here were your match choices, and I want your opinion. You can write down in the comments below which one you think should have won this. Undertaker versus CM Punk at WrestleMania 29. The Rhodes family versus the Shield at Battlegrounds, and that was a match that the Rhodes won. They would get their jobs back. Triple H versus Brock Lesnar at Extreme Rules. Now, that one right there, the one at WrestleMania would have been better than the one at Extreme Rules, because that basically made, after that match, Triple H really didn't wrestle anymore. The next night he faced Curtis Axel, next week he faced Curtis Axel, I think the week after that he probably faced Curtis Axel, and then just didn't wrestle anymore. So, and then we had The Rock versus John Cena. The Rock versus John Cena won this, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately, but the fact that it was The Rock versus John Cena, you know that was going to win it. I think that the Undertaker versus CM Punk match would have been better as the match of the year, because do you guys remember what last year's match of the year was? Last year's match of the year was Triple H versus The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 28. So, that was last year's match of the year. We then had your main event, which was a fast, quick squash main event. well, it wasn't really a squash because Tamina was getting the upper hand on Natalya. But Natalya got the win by a sharpshooter. Now, here's what I want you guys to see. Okay, this right here. Okay, ignore the top part, if you can see the top part. Let's see. You see that big long paragraph looking thing? That is your, what they call the Championship Ascension Ceremony, which was the last time that we'd see the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship together before TLC. Okay? On Raw, that is. But that right there, I'm not gonna read everything that happened. I'm just gonna break it down for you. Basically, what happened was first of all, they let Randy Orton talk. He said, let me find it real quick. He said that he's the greatest ever. He embarrassed the living crap out of Foley, which he did. He was the one who spit in Foley's face back whenever he was using Evolution. He embarrassed HBK so many times. If he would have faced Bret Hart back at the Montreal Screwjob, there never would have been a Screwjob because he would have left Bret Hart lying there, unconscious. He says that he's even done stuff that no man has ever done to Cena. But then Cena grabs the mic and everyone was chanting for Daniel Bryan. Everyone. At this time, the crowd was going nuts for Daniel Bryan. They're like, Daniel Bryan. They kept chanting for him. They wouldn't shut up. So what Mark Henry did when Mark Henry was sitting right beside Daniel Bryan, he raises up at Daniel Bryan's face and he goes, now shut, and he does this, and he's like, now shut up. And then everyone was chanting yes, and Bryan was smiling the whole time. Triple H actually turns and says, man, Bryan, I knew you had family, but damn. It was like a Triple H kind of funny moment. But then they let John Cena talk, and last week John Cena was saying that everything was given to Randy Orton because he's a second generation superstar, that he's now hiding behind Triple H and Stephanie. So he pulls Daniel Bryan by his side and he says, what is your name? My name is Daniel Bryan. And where are you from? I am from Aberdeen, Washington. Then John Cena says, now I have a question for you. Have your parents ever been, or are they, WWE superstars? No, they are not. Actually, my father's a logger. And the crowd started laughing. Daniel Bryan had this big old smile on his face the whole time. Like I said, John Cena said that Orton has been sheltered by Triple H and Stephanie for the past 10 years. And at TLC, there's going to be no more sheltering. Well, as they put the titles on this little hook thing, the titles went up, and then John Cena shakes Orton's hand. Well, Orton shakes his hand back, and as the titles go up, they're watching it. John Cena keeps watching it, and Randy Orton notices, and he sucker punches John Cena. Well, that made him tussle. I don't know who says tussle anymore. That made them start to brawl. Okay, they split them apart, and CM Punk was stuck in the middle between the two. He was in the middle of the ring, and he goes over there and tries to hold Orton back. Well, Orton pushes Punk out of the way. Punk didn't like it. Punk then proceeds to attack. Sorry, I couldn't think of his name for some reason. He proceeds to attack Randy Orton. Triple H then sees it, walks over there, and attacks his protege, attacks his man, the man he wants to win, Randy Orton. Well, after he pulls Randy Orton, or CM Punk off, Punk then turns around and punches Triple H. HBK sees it and does the sweet chin music to CM Punk. Daniel Bryan sees that. Daniel Bryan then does his little running knee that he won the WWE Championship against John Cena with to HBK. He then gets up. Orton gets behind him. He tries to RKO him, but then Bryan pushes him off, and Orton runs into Stephanie McMahon and knocks her on her ass. Triple H sees that. He's all sitting there checking on Stephanie. Orton's trying to check on Stephanie. and then Triple H gets up, pedigrees Randy Orton, and then you had the Authority standing and staring down at Randy Orton. There was one important thing I missed. John Cena said this, and I have a pretty good prediction on who's winning this match, by the way, and I'm not saying it until TLC Prediction Night. You guys have to tune in for that on Thursday night. One thing I missed about John Cena. One thing John Cena said when he got the mic, he turned around and says, first of all, give me a second. He turns around and he says, Daniel Bryan, if I win this Sunday, you put up the Hell in a match, I won't mind. As of right now, I'm challenging you to a rematch. They shook hands and he said okay. But that's if Cena wins. But after the stare down, the show basically aired, and you can see Randy Orton saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And that's how they ended Raw. With Cena, you had Triple H, Stephanie McMahon kind of holding her head. You had Cena and you had Kane sitting behind them. And they were all just staring down Randy Orton, who was in the corner. The ring got clear after all the chaos started. But that was your Raw Slammy show. Like I said, this is your TLC card, okay? Not a lot of matches. Fandango versus Dolph Ziggler in the pre-show. IC title. This is how I'm going to go over it. This is how I would book it too. But this right here is your the TLC card, and we're going to go over that on Thursday, which I believe is what, the 12th. Today's on the 10th. Yes, the 12th. I'm going to do something I've never done on my show before, because this would be the first year I've had this in December, because I think I started back in March doing this. We're going to do an end of the year review. We're going to, and that I will post on my Facebook. If you guys want to follow me on Facebook, just look me up, Austin Wright, Dalton, Georgia. That easy. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, if I can get the damn thing to work, it'd be at AustinWright316, or not 316, at Austin317. Sorry, Stone Cold. That's who I kind of took. That's who I kind of thought of it from, was Austin316. It could be Austin317. But end of the year review coming. TLC Prediction Night Thursday. Follow me on Facebook if you want. You guys can follow me on Twitter if you want, which I gotta get the thing to work somehow. This was your Raw Slammy show. Thank you for tuning into this edition. I will see you all Thursday and then next week. Good night.